What's up, Simonics, and welcome back to a new episode of your favorite Ionic show on YouTube. It is time for
app review.
As always, today we're inspecting 3 applications. I just had too many submissions in the last time, so I really need to work through all of them because a lot of them are either looking pretty good or I think have a lot of things that we could learn from. So today, 3 applications. First one will be an influencer marketing application for India, which has a pretty nice UI and looks overall very polished. The second app is a Belgian table tennis application. I hope that's right. And yeah, I know what you think. Why would I need an application like that? But there's a lot of cool things, small things that are done right in that application that we will check out. And the third application is a progressive web app because I really like to bring in a progressive web app from time to time to see how people are doing things or how those actually work on a native device and if there are any problems that we see, especially in progressive web apps. If you enjoy this video format, of course, leave a like already right below the video and subscribe to the channel. But of course, also submit your own applications if you've built anything cool with Ionic in the last time. I'm always looking for cool applications to review. It gives you a nice little traffic bump for your application perhaps, and also you can learn and everyone else can benefit from applying learnings from those applications in their own Ionic apps. So we can all build great Ionic apps. Okay, with that being said, let's dive into today's episode of App Review. Alright, first app of the day is called Opportune, submitted by Nikhil. It looks like to be an influencer marketing made simple. I'm not sure, I have never worked with any app like that, but the page here actually looks quite good. Cool colors, I like that. So let's give the application a try. Okay, we start on a little, that was mostly cool. Only problem was that this was loading a bit late for whatever reason, and then the page jumped, so I don't know why it wasn't in the first place. We got nice introduction slides. These are actually, as far as I know, SVG graphics that you can grab for free from a page where you just add your primary color and then it really fits nicely into your app scheme. Let me know if you're interested in this. I'm sure I can somehow find the link for that. I've used them in the past as well. Okay. Because I have no login, I guess I have to join Opportune. I have to do this with email and password. That's actually, well, it's okay. But usually also these days everyone has those social providers. Perhaps it has a specific reason why we require email and password today. Let's just do this. Okay, I like that we have this little loading screen with the icon in the middle. You can see usually people are just bringing in the default Ionic loading indicator or spinner, but if you have the time to actually create a page where your logo is in the background, then you see the loading, you see that someone really took care of this. I guess I'm an influencer. Let's select that. Oh, that is a lot of information on this screen. It mostly looks like this on my iPhone in real life as well, so there's not really a great separation. If this is a form, which I guess it is, I would really like to have it more clear where I have to insert it, because right now I see a lot of these stars all across the page, so basically everything looks like it's required. Then we see this. Okay, that part gets better, but I would like to have maybe the kind of separation we got here up here as well between different fields. So let's do this. What I definitely like about this login is the selection of things like these cards. I've seen this before in other applications where I just have an alert with a list to select from, but if I can just click on them and then activate them, that's so much better because I can do this really quickly, just like the toggle between the gender. We might need other options for the gender here as well, just as an information. Well, city is not completely sure. I will just go with this. Sorry for the creator of the application that I don't use my real city here. Tell us how much you would like to charge. I really don't care. Maybe this is required for the application to work, but it's really a lot to fill out. I was really already done with everything after this part, but then I had to insert a lot of numbers and think about this. So I'm not sure And not sure why I can't create my profile right now. What's wrong? Is my number still wrong? Yeah, okay, now I can create the profile. That's, well, it's okay to ask for permissions to push at that point. It wasn't directly in the beginning, so thumbs up for that. Yeah, I think this might actually be the right place. Maybe include a better description why those notifications are required. But anyway, I will allow it. Good. We're on the home page. A pretty clear application, simple tab bar at the bottom, pretty clear color scheme with that red color across the application. I kind of like this little loading we've seen here, which looks to be a card, and we got it in here as well. It's maybe a bit hard, so that shadow that's moving across it, maybe that animation could be improved a bit more to feel a bit more gleaming natural, but anyway, that's fine, that's fine. Let's see, we got the messages. That's a really nice example of an empty page. That is exactly what I like. We got a little SVG graphic up here, we got a little information, and then a button what's going or what I should do next, and then I don't know if we need this, but anyway, pretty good usage of the page, which was normally just white. I don't have too many recommendations for this application. It's using the iOS stuff here. It really feels like a native application. It makes good use of the colors. It has those messages on empty screens. So if you're from India or could use this, give it a try. Opportune application, opportune.co.in, and you will be ready to do this. I don't know why I don't have this dashboard. Perhaps I should have earned some money from the influencer here. And anyway, give it a try. All right, next app is called BePing, not beer pong, but BePing. Most likely an application you don't have to use if you're not from Belgium. The stack Ionic 5, NG12, NGXS. So let's check out the application. I still think we might see a few cool things in here. So where's my app? Welcome on BePing, the Belgian app for table tennis. So if you haven't, now you know the name. What I like about this is, well, that we have an introduction screen. What I don't like about this is this kind of faked blur area here. You can do better. There's actually a blur selector for CSS, so you could easily have that background image in place and then have this element use CSS blur to just blur it. I think that would have looked actually pretty good, most likely. Anyway, let's continue, find our results and statistics. Okay, follow your favorites. Might add a bit more padding here. I feel like that is a bit too close to the borders of the screen. But anyway, okay, it's quite a long introduction. Maybe you should add some dots to see how many pages there are in the beginning. Let's go. Made with Heart by Florent Cardin. I hope that's right. Okay, this opens the terms. Nice, good usage. Of course, I agree. Not sure if this is really something legal helpful if I don't even have an account. But anyway, let's do this. Okay, this application, okay, interesting. First of all, I really like the color gradient. We usually see applications with a fixed header area or toolbar area. This one comes with this gradient, and I think that can work very well in a lot of scenarios, and I feel like it's pretty good in here. This area is actually more of a gray. I really don't know why Reflector can't distinguish between white and gray. That's really a problem. What I don't like about this is, as you can see, I can now pull, and the pull to refresh is up here. So I would expect this to be more static, and then at this area there should be somewhere the Ion content where the refresher appears. For the tab bar, it looks quite small, but I think that's always the case if you have 5 icons, but still they look very, very small. I like the little addition here. I think spices up things a bit, so you see which is the active selected tab. That's a good idea. Now let's see. This is most likely a list of the divisions, so okay. Everything's white in here, really. The background is a light gray, so we have those in white. That's kind of pity that we don't see the difference. I like that this is stacked up there. If we have just 3 of them, I feel like an Ion segment would work better, where you can just select it. It works kind of completely the same, but an Ion segment might work better. But what's cool about this is that I can actually drag this to the side. Oh, there was go back. And then we have a little, oh nice. Can we get that again? No, we can't. There was a little animation with a, there we go. That animation, those micro animations, I really like to see them even in applications like this, but perhaps are not used by super many people, let's be honest. But still, that's great. Would be even better if this one had a bit more padding in the circle. Let's go into this one match. We see again the animation. Okay, can't do much in there. I really don't understand a lot about this. Little fab to do something. Well. Okay, that's fine. Navigate to match stats on pretty cool usage of different components. Like here, bringing up this bottom sheet. In the previous case, we had the fab button at the bottom somewhere. Not sure why it's not here yet. Okay, yeah, I can add people to my favorites, so I can most likely follow them from here. That's cool. I can also see the tournament results. That filter icon, well, I would just have made that white. Not sure why this secondary color is introduced, because we only had this blue and white usually, so I would just have made this one white. Brings up a nice little card, so using this card style with Ionic 6 could be even cool to use this bottom component, what's the new name, bottom sheet I think, but anyway, well, that's a long list. Okay, so in that case, a selection like this might make sense. Otherwise, I'm really, like we've seen before, a big fan of just clicking on these different items. Then I can apply this, and then I can dive into this. Comes up with a little map. Could add a little parallax header animation here. We got a lot of tutorials on that already, so that would be a cool idea. Otherwise, well, just fine. I think this is an application that is really very helpful to people who are following table tennis in Belgium. That might be just a small amount of people in the world, but still, the application looks good. You can't really say really a lot of bad things about it. We had this gradient, we had the little micro animations in here. Here and there, there's a bit of padding missing, but overall, you can't see it, but there's definitely a separation between those different sections with a gray background. So it's a really clear interface. It's not trying to make more of the application than it is. Be honest, it's an application to seeing table tennis stats, and that is most likely pretty boring if you're not super into table tennis. But it's really helpful. It even has haptic feedback when I switch the tabs. So a lot of cool of these small things, and I'm sure if the developer Florent of this application would do other applications, they would look good as well. You can really feel and see that the developer has spent at least a minimum amount of time to make the application not look like a default Ionic application, but more like, well, a table tennis application in Belgium. So if you're from Belgium, check it out. If you're otherwise from somewhere in the world and into table tennis, also check it out. BePing, not BePong, on the App Store. Last application of the day comes from David Geller, previous member of the Ionic Academy, also had a success story in the Ionic Academy, and he shared a nice little application with me, which is called MyQrCard.app. It doesn't look too good in the browser, so we definitely want to check it out on our device, and especially add this to my home screen. I don't care that the icon looks like a stock icon, I think it's still okay. So let's try it as a progressive web app on my device. Welcome, you can create, where is that image? So there's the first thing I noticed. It was definitely there on the browser, so perhaps there's some kind of problem loading the assets in the progressive web app version. As well, can you change the header color? I think you can for progressive web app. I think you can define it in your index HTML. So if you just have a white screen in here, maybe also try to change the status bar color to white here with black text instead. I think those basic settings should work for a progressive web app. You can now create your own QR cards, vaccination cards, editing sections. In this case, we have the images. So interesting why they don't load on the first screen. Let's give this a try. I'm overall not a huge fan of those rounded buttons and having this thick border around images like we've seen here. But okay, now we're basically on the same screen like here, I guess. I can create an account, privacy, build number, whatever. And I think I also got a join code, so let's try. Alright, your account has been created. Log in to begin using this app. After logging in, look for an email to verify your account. Well, yeah, in that case, let's just try and log in. That works good. And we go ahead. Now we're in the application. That view is already better. Although, once again, you can't see the shadows of these cards. Of course, it doesn't look like this on a device. There's really a nice default, perhaps even more than a default shadow of Ionic. So I can create different cards, and I'm actually not sure why I can go back here, and I fear to press it. I guess it brings me back to login. No, it brings me to my cards. So it was directly jumping into the application at some point. Well, okay. Then we got a little fab button to add a new card. I feel like those icons are, and the status bar is a bit small, but perhaps it just feels so because this area is black. But maybe there's also a little settings problem. So let's add a new business contact card. Your card has been created. This is definitely, how can I change this card? How can I edit it? Edit card. Okay, on my device, those actually have a gray background. So I can probably show you it like this. It looks a bit like a Google form from about, well, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago. So that's really interesting. At least we got this little sliding component up here where we can go through the different things. Already noticed in the past that Ion segment can't really be scrolled, so you have to come up with your own implementation using slides and putting buttons in and having multiple slides per view. Once again, this is definitely not the recommended size for a button, so don't make your buttons smaller than they have to be. Really, there's a lot of space on this page. You don't have to make a button that small. Okay, I can add a lot of different things in here. I will just say Simon, that's enough for today. And let's say organization is Dev Tactic or the Ionic Academy, up to you, whatever you prefer. So let's update my card, and then most likely I have a QR code that you could now scan, and that should probably bring you to my card, which is overall a quite nice idea for an application. A bit like the Socially application we had the last time. I don't like stuff like this where you reuse colors. So red in this case looks like the cancel danger color, but then it's once again used to put emphasis on this edit button. That definitely is not a good color scheme. Overall, it looks a lot like the application has no clear color scheme, because we have a header in this, I don't know what's it called, color. Then we have blue, we have red, and we have green. And also those colors look a bit like the Ionic default colors. So maybe just use that color as primary across your application, make this one perhaps just a light button without real color, and then everything would become already a bit better. Anyway, we can click other pages. Once again, the buttons are really small. Also, if you have an item, you don't need to put another button in here. Just make the Ion item a button, that should be fine. And if you have long text, of course, use Ion text wrap for long labels, so longer text is displayed correctly. Also, now we have like the 5th different color here. The header once again has a different color like the color we've seen here. That's an interesting. I don't know what I did, but I now got those 2 buttons. Now I get 4 buttons. How many more can I get in this application? Well, at least the real fab button at the bottom is not working anymore. So now I've completely destroyed this application. No, really. The idea of this application is good. To define your card, set some settings, then generate a QR code, maybe even have a vaccination card or more information in your business card, which you can share by a QR code. But from the whole UI perspective, there's a lot to improve, starting by the forms that look like someone from Google has made them 20 years ago and then shipped them to the future, to the broken UI because of maybe reloading views or something. to the different colors. So don't have that many colors in your application and don't have too many buttons here to perform different actions. Really, you need a clear focus on the primary color, the buttons, which toggle action, and don't confuse the user. We even have a clear button up here, so that's definitely completely confusing to any user. And sorry that I completely crashed the application, at least I can now go back, but still I have 3 buttons with 3 different colors. That's totally confusing. Anyway, I feel like it has some potential, so David, try to put some time into this if you want to grow this, make it a bit more clear, have less buttons and less colors, and then MyQrCard might be a cool app in the future, so go check it out when the video is released. Perhaps it has already changed. MyQrCode.app or link below the video. Alright, and that's it for today's app review. I hope you enjoyed those 3 applications. I definitely did. It was a nice mix of very nice graphics, very helpful and small micro interactions, and the third application which has a very nice concept, but the UI is, well, lacking a bit behind. Hope you learned a lot from this. Anyway, always props to the creators of these applications. I don't mean to roast you or to tell you that everything you did is bad. I just want to help you to build better Ionic applications in the future, just like I do with the Ionic Academy, my online school to help you grow and learn more and build epic Ionic applications. If you want to see your own application in this video, leave a comment or tweet me. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more Ionic videos. I hope you will have a great and amazing week of making even better Ionic apps, and then I will hopefully catch you next week like always. So happy coding, Simon.